So today's topic is bandwidth of the antenna. So whenever we are having any kind of system with us, we need to find out what is the frequency range for which that system will work efficiently. So that frequency range is bandwidth of that system. So when we are talking about this antenna, so we also need to confirm that for how much frequency range our antenna will work efficiently. So when we have been talking about efficiency, what does it mean? We need to have some characteristics been satisfied within that frequency range. So we can write the range of frequencies within which the performance of the antenna with respect to some characteristics conforms to a specified standards. Specified standards. So this band of frequency or this bandwidth, it can be considered as the range of frequencies in the either side of the center frequency. So the center frequency means the frequency of operation, let us consider, or for this antenna, that frequency, center frequency, is also known as resonance frequency. So a system, when it will be at the resonance, so what does it mean? It will show the perfect resistive impedance, rather reactive impedance. So to have the radiation from this antenna, we need the power to be transferred rather than stored within the antenna element. So that center frequency is known as resonance frequency. Okay. The bandwidth can be considered to be the range of frequency on either side of the center frequency where the antenna characteristics what are those characteristics? Such as input impedance, radiation pattern, beam width, polarization, side lobe level, gain, beam direction, that is directivity, beam direction, radiation efficiency, are within the acceptable value, within the acceptable value of those at the center frequency. Okay, so let us consider we are having this is the frequency range, it is f1, f2, this is our center frequency f0. So if we are having the bandwidth starting from this point like this, it is f1 prime, let us consider it is f1, it is f2. So if we say that it has the bandwidth f2 minus f1, so what does it mean? In the either side of the center frequency f0, it should satisfy all the antenna characteristics to a acceptable value. So let us consider if the gain is 0.5, then our purpose is served. So from f1 to f2 we can have the gain from 0.5 and peak value or the maximum value. But beyond this f1, in the left hand side and in the right hand side, it also falls below 0.5. Then we can't say that it is our acceptable level of characteristic, acceptable level for the antenna operation. So the frequency point from which we can have all the characteristics within our acceptable value, we can consider that frequency range is the bandwidth of that antenna. Okay. Next, it is the polarization. So many times we have discussed this polarization. So when we have been talking about the polarization of the antenna, we mainly talking about the polarization of the wave which is transmitted or radiated by the antenna. Of an antenna in a given direction is the polarization of the wave transmitted, that is radiated by the antenna. Now we talk about polarization of the radiated wave or transmitted wave. So what is this polarization of radiated wave? Polarization of the radiated wave is that property of an electromagnetic wave describing the time varying direction and relative magnitude of the electric field vector. Just try to understand this thing. So when we have been talking about the polarization about the radiated wave, we are talking about that property of the EM wave which describes the time varying direction and the relative magnitude, time varying direction and the relative magnitude of the electric field vector. So on the radiated wave we can have the EM wave which is a combination of electric field and magnetic field. So especially when we have been talking about the polarization, we are talking about the electric field vector. So this electric field vector are varying in which direction? This electric field itself is time varying. So due to that time varying nature, the direction itself is time varying. So the time varying nature of the changing of those direction along with the magnitude, that will give you the polarization. So if we are having the electric field, that is considered sine wave. So this electric field which is as a form of sine wave, it is time varying in nature. So while it has been propagating or radiating from the antenna, so how it varies, that is what will be found from the polarization. The polarization of a wave radiated by an antenna in a specified direction at a point in the far field is defined as, we are defining the radiated wave from the antenna at a far distant point. The polarization of the plane wave which is used to represent the radiated wave at that point. Okay, so the polarization of the radiated wave at a far distant point, it can be defined as the plane wave which is used to represent the radiated wave. So the plane wave which we can have from the radiation of that antenna, if we can able to find out the orientation of that wave at a far distant point or at the observation point, we can have the polarization with us. So we need to deal with the plane wave which has been radiated from the antenna. We can deal with plane wave. Now same wave we can define for the polarization of the wave received by the antenna. So it is same, the wave which has been received by the antenna is defined as the polarization of a plane wave incident from a given direction. So if we are having a receiving antenna, so the polarization of that wave which has been received by the receiver, so we need to consider the polarization of the incident wave in a given direction. Okay, now if we have been talking about the polarization of the wave, there are three types. One is linear, one is circular, another one is elliptical. There are three types of polarization. Now for the analysis of these three types of polarization, let us consider the wave is propagating along plus z direction. Let us consider. So now let us consider if we are having a wave which has been propagating along plus z. So to know what is the polarization, we need to stand at this point. Here we need to stand and we need to observe that for us it has been propagating in the opposite direction. It is coming towards us. So if some source is standing at this point, so for that source the wave has been propagating in the right hand side. Now to have the observer at this point, it has been coming towards him. For this source it is going out of that source. For that observer the wave is coming towards the observer. So we need to consider that for that observer the wave is been propagating in the minus z direction, coming towards the observer. Okay. Now by taking this consideration, let us start analysis for the linear polarization first. So how we can define? A time varying wave is linearly polarized at a given point in space if the electric field vector at that point is always oriented along the same straight line at every instant of time. So the time varying wave which can be recognized as a linearly polarized if at a given point the electric field vector is always oriented along a same straight line. Now what are the conditions we must need to satisfy to have this linear polarization? So for getting linear polarization, the field vector possesses first requirement is, let us consider give A, only one component it must have, one component. So how we will see? Or if it is having two component, then two orthogonal linear component that are in time phase or 180 degree out of phase, or maybe multiple of 180 degree, either 180 degree or multiple of that 180 degree. Now let us consider an travelling wave which has been propagating along minus z direction. Let us consider a wave. The instantaneous field of a plane wave travelling in negative z direction, that is E z comma t is Ex. Let us consider it is having two component, Ey, Ay cap. Okay, so we can take this time varying in the form of e to the power j omega t, and if that wave is propagating in a lossless medium, then this e to the power alpha z is 0. So let us consider that thing. Plus beta z. Now let us consider it is having some phase phase value been included into these two components, means they are not at all been started at the origin, they have started from some other value, some other point. So let us take the real value for this. J omega t, that is the maximum value E x naught plus beta z plus phi x, some phase included within that, plus j omega t plus beta z plus phi y, some phase included. So we can take the cos component for this, cos of omega t beta z plus phi x y0 cos of omega t beta z plus phi y. Now let us consider the wave is at the z equals to 0 position, so we can neglect this beta z, so with that will make our calculation quite easier. So let us consider the wave at z equals to 0 position. Okay, the wave while it has been traveling, we have been considered at z equals to 0. So E0 comma t is E x naught cos omega t plus phi x, E y naught cos of omega t plus phi y. So this is the simplified form of the instantaneous field of the plane wave. Now according to our conditions for the linear polarization, there should be a time difference between the two components. Either there will be one component or there will be a time difference between the two components which is 180 degree. Okay, so to have linear polarization, the time difference between the two component of the wave must be del phi, this phase difference, that is phi y minus phi x should be 180 degree or multiple of 180 degree, that is n pi. So what this n should be? N is 0, 1, 2 like this. So for most simple calculation or for most easiest case, let us consider this del phi is 0, that is for n is equals to 0. Okay, so for del phi is equals to 0, that is phi y is equals to phi x. So this E0 comma t, that will be E x naught cos of omega t plus phi x plus E y naught cos of omega t plus phi x. So they have started from the same point. Now depending on this expression, let us take different t value and let us go with this omega t and we will plot the field vector for this case. So by taking this expression, so I am just writing this expression here again. Comma t is equals to E x naught cos of omega t plus phi x, E y0 cos of omega t plus phi x. Let us consider this expression. Okay. Now let us put different values of t and try to find out omega t. So we'll have this ax and ay. Let us take t and omega t here. So if we put t is equals to 0, omega t is equals to 0. So in this way, if we put t is equals to t by 8, that will give us omega t is equals to pi by 4. Same if we take t by 4, so that will become pi by 2. If we take t by 2, it will have pi. If we take t, it will be twice pi, like this. Okay. Now if we go with 0, that is t is equals to 0, then these two are same, so we can neglect this phi x value. This phi x and this phi x is same, so this is ex0 and ey0, the maximum point. So let us consider this is for t is equals to 0, that is ex0, and this is here ey0. Okay. Next, for t by 8, we can have pi by 4. So pi by 4 is 1 by root 2, that is ex by root 2 or ey0 by root 2. So let us take this value. This is your ey0 by root 2, and this value here, this is ex0 by root 2. This is for t by 8. So for t by 4, it is pi by 2, that is origin. Okay. So it will be somewhere here. Okay. We'll draw that one. Now if we put t by 2, t by 2 is minus pi, so it will be minus 1. So that opposite point. So that's supposed to be ey0, minus of ey0, and this point will be minus of ex0. It is for t by 2. Now if we go for t, that is twice pi. Again, twice pi means 0. That is again same point, right? ex0 and ey0. So if we draw these points, so where will be this field vector looks like? So some points will come here also if we take continuous point. So this is the field vector which is joining these two, these all points. So this is for your, this origin is for t by 4, this is for your t by 8, it is also for t by 8, it is also for t by 4 here. This point is for t is equals to 0, it is for t is equals to 0. This point, it is for t by 2, it is for t by 2, and these are the some other intermediate points. So we can have the electric field vector which is lying like this. So we can have the polarization which has a continuous line at every instant of time. That is what we said here. That point is always oriented along the same straight line at every instant of time. So it is also having the same kind of orientation which maintains this orientation at every instant of time, at every instant of time. Now some point which we can note here, that if ay component is absent, if ay, this is the ay component, if ay component absent, then the locus lies along horizontal axis. If ay is absent, this ay is absent, then the locus will always lies along this horizontal axis, that is x axis. Horizontal axis. Then it is known as horizontal polarization. In the second case, if ax component absent, then the locus lies along vertical axis. And it is known as vertical polarization. So if this ax component exists, we can have the polarization which is along the y axis, that is known as vertical polarization. Now when we have been saying that vertical polarization or horizontal polarization, we must need to specify where is our reference plane, because for someone this is a vertical polarization, but for someone this may be the horizontal polarization. This x axis may be the horizontal polarization for someone, but this may be also the vertical polarization for some other. So we must need to specify where is our reference plane while we are having this horizontal polarization or vertical polarization. Okay, we must need to specify this thing. So this is our plane wave at z equals to 0. So we always work with this one for either linear polarization or circular polarization or elliptical polarization. Now let us go with circular polarization, second one. A time varying wave is circularly polarized at a given point in space if the electric field vector at that point traces a circle as a function of time. If it traces a circle as a function of time. So what are the necessary and sufficient conditions we must need to satisfy to have this circular polarization? Necessary and sufficient conditions. First condition is that the field must have two orthogonal linear components. linear components. Second condition, two components must have the same magnitude, that is Ex0 and Ey0 must be same. And third condition, the two components must have a time phase difference of odd multiple of 90 degree. There should be a time phase difference of 90 degree between these two orthogonal components. So what we can say, that for circular polarization, Ex0 is equals to Ey0 is equals to E0, same, it should be same, and this phase difference, that is phi y minus phi x, should be odd multiple of 90 degree. Now this odd multiple can be positive, can be negative, that is it may be plus half plus twice n into pi, where n is equals to 0, 1, 2 like this. So if it is plus, then we can have clockwise or right hand circular polarization, clockwise or right hand. There is also some point to mention, I will mention that. If it is negative, plus twice n into pi, n is equals to 0, 1, 2, then it will be counterclockwise or left hand. Now let us go, I will mention that. Let us take this del phi is equals to plus 90 degree, that is clockwise. So this plane wave will be E0 cos of omega t plus phi x minus E0 sin omega t plus phi x. So this one is phi y minus phi x. Okay, so this phi y will be 90 plus phi x. So this one will become minus and sine. I hope you have understand this one. Now let us trace this field vector, how it will rotate. Let us take this one. So this is your ay, this is your ax. Let us take different t, and according to that what are the omega t we can have. For 0 it is 0, for t by 8 we can have pi by 4, for t by 4 we can have pi by 2, for t by 2 we can have pi, for t we can have voice pi. So these are the different values. Now if we put t is equals to 0, we can have the maximum. For which one? This omega t is 0, so sine 0 is 0. So this one will be here along E0 along x, Ey will be 0. This component, this sine component will be 0. So this one is the point for t is equals to 0. Next, if you take t by 8, that is pi by 4. So if we take pi by 4, that is also e0 by root 2, this is also minus e0 by root 2. So let us take this point, it is e0 by root 2, and this point somewhere here, that will be minus e0 by root 2. If we take t by 2, if we take t by 2, that is pi. So pi it is, this sin pi will be 0, so this one will be minus of e0. So here let us take at this point, it is minus of e0. Again if we take t, that is twice pi. Twice pi is same this point, that is sin will be 0, this one will be e0, so this point. If we take t by 4, we miss this one. If we take t by 4, that is pi by 2, so this one will be same this point, right? If we take t by 4, then that is pi by 2, so this cos pi by 2 is 0, sin pi by 2 it is minus of e0. If we take pi, so this one will be here, right? We missed this point. Here will be another point which is with respect to minus of e0, which says it is for t by 4. It is for t by 4. So if we join these 2 points, we can have the field vector which is rotating like this. Sorry, here it will rotate along the circle. It should be a circle like this. Sorry. So it traces a circle, this field vector it will trace a circle. So this is the field vector which will trace along a circle. Now if you have been looking at this point, when we have been taken plus 90, so at which direction this field vector rotating? At which direction? It is clockwise or anti-clockwise? It is clockwise movement, because it has been rotating in this direction. It is rotating in this direction. So when we have been taken plus 90, that is, this phase difference is positive, we can have the rotation in the clockwise. So clockwise direction means right hand. Now for our analysis, what we have chosen? The wave is propagating along minus z direction. So what does it mean? You have been standing just in front of the source, that is, wave is coming towards you. So you can consider something like that, a wall clock which has been hanged on the wall just in front of you. So if you look at that wall clock, the clockwise rotation means right hand rotation for the wave which is coming towards you. Now if you are the source and the wall clock is just behind you, so this clockwise rotation, now it will become anti-clockwise. Just try to understand. And that right hand rotation will become left hand rotation. So it is completely depending upon the observer, whether that observer is a receiver or that observer is a transmitter. So for this case, as it is coming towards the observer, that observer is a receiver. So for that receiver, when the phase difference is positive, it means it is having the clockwise direction rotation and it is a right hand rotation. So it is right hand circular polarization. If it is negative, then that rotation will be anti-clockwise direction and it is left hand circular polarization. Which case? For the case when the wave is coming towards the observer, that is a clock is just in front of the observer. Now if the person is the transmitter, that is clockwise just behind the wall, behind that person on the wall. So for this, positive phase difference will give us counterclockwise rotation, that is left hand. This one will become changed. Clear? Any doubt on this? You need to understand this one very carefully, because it is completely depending upon the propagation direction. If it is minus z, this is the condition. If it is plus z, the condition will be opposite. Any doubt? Anyone having any doubt? Elliptical polarization is very simple if you have the understanding on this circular polarization, or you can say this circular polarization is a special case for the elliptical polarization. So this elliptical polarization can be observed if the tip, that is this point of the field vector, traces an elliptical locus in space. So what are the necessary and sufficient condition? Same as the circular polarization, the field must have two orthogonal linear component second point, the two component can be of the same or different magnitude. So if it is having the same magnitude, we can have the circular polarization. Third condition within that, first, if the two components are not of the same magnitude, the time phase difference between the orthogonal component must not be zero, must not be zero or multiple of 180 degree. Why? If it is 0 or multiple of 180 degree, then it will become linear, because it will be linear polarization. Second point, if the two components are of the same magnitude, the time phase difference must not be odd multiples of 90. Odd multiple of 90 degree, because it will become circular. It will then become circular polarization. Okay, so same thing, if we are having the axial ratio, that is this minor axis by the smaller axis, major axis by the minor axis, if this axial ratio of the ellipse is 1, then it will become a circle. If it is less than 1, sorry, if it is 1, then it will be circle. If it is greater than 1, then it will be a ellipse, that is major axis by the minor axis. So same conditions we can have for this elliptical polarization as well. Clear? Any doubt? Anyone having any doubt? Yes?
Sir, can you show the necessary condition for circular ellipse, circular polarization?
What I have written, same thing. There must be two orthogonal components that must not be have same magnitude, and the time phase difference should be odd multiple of 90 degree. Any doubt? Anyone? It is very important. You have to understand very carefully.